In our last video, we were given a few situations, and we were asked to describe whether we were looking at a survey, an experiment, or an observational study. This time we'll be asked a slightly different question, still with those three ideas, but this time we're going to want to figure out whether we should use a survey, an experiment, or an observational study to collect our data, as well as explaining why we chose what we chose. So I'll just kind of say my explanation here. I don't want to write this all out. So make sure you're listening closely or checking my notes online if you want to see my written explanation, which is what I would be looking for on your quizzes and tests. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So scenario number one. We're told that a pharmaceutical company wants to test whether a new medicine is effective. And so, once again, I'm looking for keywords like we did in the last video. And the keyword this time that really gives it away to me is going to be this word test right here. Because I'm testing something, I'm probably going to want to choose an experiment to collect my data. I'll have a control group, I'll have an experimental group. One group will get the drug, the new treatment, one won't, and I'll go ahead and measure the results. So to me, in my opinion, I'm thinking experiment is going to definitely be the way to go to collect data here. Scenario number two, and go ahead and read it if you want to read it. Give me a second here. Let's see. A news organization wants to randomly call citizens and gauge opinions on a presidential election. So once again, the word that gives it away to me this time, usually there's a word or two that tell me what I'm looking for. This time it's the word opinions. Because I'm trying to collect opinions from people, it seems like a survey would definitely be the way to go. I can go ahead and ask some questions, get people's viewpoints, and collect data pretty easily that way. So I'm going to go with an experiment. And again, make sure you're writing out your reason here. I'm just saying it because I don't feel like writing all this right now. So make sure you do have your reason written down, and you can check my reasons written down on my notes online. All right, one more to take a look at here. Let's see. A research company wants to study smokers and non-smokers to determine whether 10 years of smoking affects lung capacity. This one can be a bit tricky. Because at first glance you may think experiment, but I'm really not doing an experiment this time. I don't have a control group and an experimental group. I'm not making one group smoke to try to see what happens to them. Really, I'm just going to kind of be looking at data. I'm not going to affect these people. So I'm going to say that this is going to be an observational study. I'm really just looking at data. I'm looking at what's happened over the last 10 years. I'm not influencing people. I'm not telling them to smoke or not. And I'm not really just asking for questions because I don't want people's opinions this time. And so to me, I don't really have a key word in here. But I'm going to say this is definitely an observational study for this one. So again, some of these may have more than one right answer. I guess it depends on how well you can argue your point. So just make sure that whatever method of data collection you pick, just make sure your reason supports that and make sure it's a reasonable opinion, I guess.